Hey, what's good, people? Appreciate y'all tuning back in with me as always. So, getting right into it, normally I'd start with the benchmark of whatever weapon class we're talking about, right? Like, I should be starting with Violet Palm, basically the quote-unquote first blade of the class, but let's be real. I know the thumbnail was kind of heat today, you know what I'm saying? I know we're pretty on point. But I'm not gonna waste too many of y'all's time. I know what a lot of y'all, again, probably based on the thumbnail, are here for. So yeah, Ninja Palm, pretty I mean, where do we even start, really? Where do we even start? That's what I really should have thought about before getting into this. And I guess real quick, yeah, like the last time, I can show off my notepad to y'all where I've ranked off each palm for range distance. Here we are. Here the M stands for meters, and then range damage output, I just ranked the forward dash charge shots on all these. So this isn't taking like number one is Midnight with its forward dash charge shot up close, rivaling Viridi whenever you're able to sweet spot it, because like up close it might not connect all of its hits, too far away might not connect all of its hits. Yeah, you got that sweet spot where it does about 60 is what I got, rivaling Midnight Palm. I think I even got like 65 one time, but it's pretty inconsistent. So yeah, I'd say that's like silver bow level. I was thinking of that, and yeah, the backward dash on Virgo Palm is also rivaling like these two, around the 60 damage range. So yeah, that's something. So yeah, that would be like the tippity top of the damage output in this tier, which funnily enough, actually ain't all that. I mean, you wouldn't think so, like playing against palms most of the time, like online with energy charge and all the modifiers people run. But I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like when you think of the heavy hitters of the weapon classes, of the different weapon classes, like I'd say the heavy hitters range wise would be staves, clubs, and I guess orbiters. You would think cannons, but power wise they're kind of in the middle with palms and bows. I guess with comparing them to clubs and staves, they might trade off range and power for their blast radius or something like that. So yeah, between that and then I'd say the lowest out of the 9 classes for the range would be claws, blades, and then arms. So yeah, claws, blades, and arms, those are mostly, I mean, yeah, a good amount of them you can run, or I would say you could run mix. Again, I don't really care for mix sets in multiplayer too much, but yeah, I mean, these weapons generally have good attributes on both ends. But yeah, when it comes to like range gameplay, yeah, it definitely feels like staves, clubs, those are like the heavy artillery. Orbiters you can kind of throw in there too, just because of the damage output. Like standard orbiters are so far from what I tested, is just way stronger than something like Fortune Bow or First Blade or anything we've talked about so far, minus like Insight Staff. So but anyway, that was just a quick little tangent. That was something I had jotted down to talk about at some point in this video. I wasn't sure where I was going to kind of segue it in there, but I guess that'll work. So yeah, getting back to Ninja Palm before I start rambling too long. Yeah, Ninja Palm power wise, I mean, yeah, it's not all that, sure. Yeah, I got it ranked like 10th out of all the palms. I say 10th. Really, yeah, with Midnight and Viridi tying for one place, yeah, it's really 11th. So yeah, and then of course with forward dash charge shot, continuous fire and everything else kind of scales behind that, so you get a good idea of where that would be. But yeah, other than that, I mean, top 5 for melee, I mean, that's cool, but you're not really, we're really with palms in general, I'd say even worse than bows when it comes to melee, just because of the range. You don't really, you have to be a lot closer with palms than pretty much any other weapon to connect melee. So like the sour spot, it's way easier to get a sour spot on a dash attack, for instance, than it would be with another weapon. So that's one of the downsides. Burning palm is pretty strong. Like it's at least stronger than Crusher Arm, unlike Darkness Bow. So that's something. Plus the innate burning. Like yeah, I'll give it to you on that. But when it comes to melee weapons in general, yeah, I'm not really going to be looking at this class too much in particular. Yeah, I'm gonna just go with, you know, something like this, something like these, right? So yeah, I mean, I'll give them credit where it's due, but it's not going to be a huge factor when comparing them to other classes, for instance. So yeah, again, top 5 melee, that's cool, but you know, it's Ninja Palm. It's Ninja Palm. Like yeah, here's my miscellaneous notes. So what we got here? Ninja Palm has, yeah, it has walking speed basically equivalent to Cancer Claws, which is, I mean, come on, like it's Cancer Claws specifically excels at that. Like it's a pair of claws, so movement wise, it's already excellent, but then it has the added benefit of that continuous fire walking speed boost. And then Ninja Palm just has that. It doesn't even, you don't even need to be holding a button down or anything. Ninja Palm just has that. It's so weird. I mean, palms in general, like, yeah, pretty average movement speed, like blades, I guess, right? Just average movement speed, not slow like the heavy artillery classes. Not fast like the claws, but probably a little bit faster than the blades, since, you know, it's not an actual weapon. Like you're probably not going to get too many descriptions like Crusader Blade or Curse Palm where they intentionally, or they state that they explicitly trade off speed for another attribute or something like that, right? So yeah, like Palm's already kind of like, I feel like they're above average when I'm playing with Violet Palm, for instance, right? But Ninjas just feels like, I don't know, it feels faster than Tiger Claws for some reason. It's like the fastest weapons in the game: Brawler Claws, Hedgehog, and Cancer, and then Ninja Palm. Like, never mind Raptor might be up there, sure, but like other claws, for instance, right? This thing's outranking them. I mean, Bear Claws, of course, I would expect, but yeah, movement wise, it's just, I mean, what more can I say, really? Movement wise, I mean, it's I feel like I'm understating it, really. I mean, it's Ninja Palm. Like, y'all know what the deal is. Anybody that plays the meta nowadays, that's pretty much the whole game. Like I said the last video, back in 2013, you asked me best weapon in the game. Yeah, I'm telling you, like eye track orbiters, or you know, whatever other BS people were using back then, right? But yeah, Ninja Palm, I mean, that's like one of the things that's truly stood the test of time, I guess, because gosh, when did I start? I mean, Bumblebee +4 evasion, it's kind of always been the thing, but yeah, I didn't really see it being spammed on walking speed and standing charge shot Ninja Palm until like, I mean, I guess like a couple of years after the game came out. It's hard for me to like remember exactly, so forgive me on that, but it's truly stood the test of time. I don't really, this meta isn't like it's not like old Pokemon metas where the game could drastically shift towards like a completely different, like people using completely different play styles or something, right? Like offense is generally more popular like at the start of a generation, and then as time goes on, people just start bulking up on their teams and whatnot. Like with Uprising, it's more like I guess there's more novelty at the start of the game, so like people, I remember people thinking like, you know, Beam Claws was like S tier for some reason, right? And then as people started improving and I guess optimizing the game more and more, yeah, something like Ninja Palm. I mean, I've seen a lot of weapons. Well, yeah, I was gonna say I've seen a lot of weapons come and go, but nothing's really stood up at the top like Ninja Palm, in my opinion, or at least from what I've seen. Because even when eye track orbiters was like widely considered the best in the game, it was still competing with Gemini. Arum was always really good. I always preferred shock over eye track orbiters personally, but we'll get to orbiters when we get to them. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like any other top tier range weapons, because melee's never really been. I mean, sure, yeah, someone pulling up with a Taurus arm or a samurai blade is always scary, but yeah, I mean, they have to pull up, you know what I'm saying? So range wise, as far as who's been up at the top, yeah, I really think it was a tie between some of the orbiters for a while, and then for the last couple of years, yeah, it's just been Ninja Palm from what I can think of. But yeah, between the walking speed, standing charge shot, let's look at the item description here. Weapon, a weapon within the soul of a dark assassin. This must have been like the nigga in Creed or something. I was like, what? What assassin was this? It has a short charge time. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the charge time is cracked out as all hell. Yeah, fast shot. Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, for a palm, his shots are fast as hell. Like, I'm trying to think who right, like needle kind of up there, cutter kind of up there, I guess. But generally none of these palms have like super fast projectile speed, but then there's Ninja Palm, which actually kind of does. And then on top of the speed boost, and then yeah, it says lacks in range, power, and homing, but I mean, just barely. Really, it's really just a cut below Violet Palm in all those categories. It's not to the point where you can't just slap +3 on shot range and shot homing and add a homing boost. Not to mention in the power, I mean, yeah, you got a new charge shot or two like every second, so it's yeah, with energy charge, like, yeah, that's not really too big of a factor in my opinion. You're not OHKOing niggas with Ninja Palm, but yeah, with how fast you get standing charge shots and how impossible you are to hit just from walking. That's the main thing. I mean, I've also talked about it throughout this series so far, but yeah, now that we're here, yeah, I mean, that was one of the main reasons I bring up eye track orbiters when comparing it to, say, like brawler claws, when I was talking about it in my claws tier list. Yeah, these two weapons in particular. I'm trying to think of anything else that might be able to just outwalk certain shit. But really, I mean, weapons in this game generally have fair enough movement speed to where you can just slap +4 speed on just about anything, I feel like, and outwalk something as slow as eye track orbiters charge shots. Maybe not like with one of the heavy artillery classes, but yeah, I could see you doing that with something, say, like Arm Palm. You can just be walking away spamming charge shots. Ninja Palms and of course brawler class are just way better at it than almost anything else in the game, because not only because of how fast their walking speed is, but because of the nature of their shots. Like brawler claws with the shot cancellation in tandem with just how wide the area of its standing continuous fire is. It being to stay in motion with that, yeah, it gives it a lot of defensive shot cancellation utility, whereas Ninja Palm, it's just yeah, it's just one, like, again, shorter range than Violet Palm, sure, but yeah, with +3 shot range and some homing boost, I mean, it really makes up the difference when you're just sitting back, I mean, just tossing out shurikens like nobody's business, and you're damn near impossible to hit because you're faster than most people on the map just by walking. And you know, that's generally I'm thinking of that generally without lightweight, because I think most people have stopped using it out of consideration for other people now, just because, like, dude, yeah, the game's already laggy as hell online, so like, yeah, you throw in lightweight, you're just, I mean, how can I can't even like really see what's going on half the time when somebody has lightweight on. I mean, I say I haven't really seen people like use lightweight, but I mean, nobody's really, you go online, ain't nobody's really thinking about like not playing like a degenerate, you know. Everybody's kind of playing to win these days. Ain't nobody really like, yeah, I mean, I say everybody's playing to win, you know. I'm not saying that like Ninja Palm's not fun to play with. I personally just don't have a whole lot of fun knowing I can't be hit or I can't hit my opponent, right? And then the whole match just turns into who gets the first like bit of chip damage and runs away with it, you know, like who takes the first stock or life off of the whole team's light versus dark health bar, and then yeah, just runs away for the next 5 minutes, you know. That's me. I feel like that's kind of what, especially online, because like that's why I'm glad I found Discord. They have, you know, ban lists and regulations that for me make the game a lot more enjoyable. I mean, you still have to deal with +4 evasion, but they at least ban Bumblebee, so that's nice. And yeah, you don't have to deal with these shits. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I could say for Ninja Palm besides the, yeah, I think I've gone over everything I can at the moment, really, at least off the top of my head. Yeah, the charge time, the movement speed. But yeah, I guess getting back into like the talk about the meta game as a whole, yeah, that's what it feels like it's turned into. You go online to any random lobby, yeah, it's just +4 evasion and Bumblebee spam on pretty much anything. But I mean, that's, yeah, I can deal with it until, yeah, I have to fight this. Honestly, yeah, that shit is just impossible. Sometimes it feels like, especially if you're trying to just outrange them, right? Like, not even like if you have a wide map, but see, then they close the gap so fast. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, yeah, you can pick a wider map and try to snipe them with super fast shots with one of the stabs or something, but like, it's, I mean, your aim already has to be on point one, and then like, yeah, your charge time on something like a staff or anything strong enough to OHKO the average multiplayer fighter is, it's usually anything that's strong enough, like a staff, you know. You got long charge time, small hitboxes, no homing, and then just stuff with homing like palms, or yeah, like eye track hoarders, you know, they get outwalked, or just kind of like I was comparing with the rest of the palms. Yeah, nothing else really has its shot speed, so there's that. But yeah, I mean, +4 evasion and Bumblebee is good on any weapon, sure, but yeah, this is definitely, I feel like Ninja Palm even more so than Brawler Claws sometimes is like definitely the biggest abuser of that set. So I wish I could just show y'all, but I mean, I'll leave a link to the Japanese. I'll probably leave a link to the Japanese Kid Icarus multiplayer YouTube channel for anyone that's interested in what I'm talking about. I mean, like I say, anybody that's played the game a good amount already knows what I'm saying, but for anyone that's curious, yeah, I'll leave a link to that channel in the description. They play, from what I see, yeah, they got like a similar meta where it's just all +4 evasion and Bumblebee, who gets the first hit, who runs away for the rest of the game. And I mean, I don't think I see Ninja Palm a whole lot in like particular, right? But I'm sure you'd be able to find a game somewhere down there. They upload like every day, so I'll leave that in the description for anyone interested. But gosh, it's been like 20 minutes. I've just talked about Ninja Palm. How long? But but even still, I feel like I'm understating it. You know, I didn't make the whole video. Granted, yeah, I did make the whole thumbnail. I mean, that's why I wanted to get right into it, and like I say, not waste any of y'all's time. But yeah, I mean, what can I say, dude? It's Ninja Palm. I've been waiting to talk about it for a minute, just to go ahead and set it at the top, because that was the first weapon in mind when thinking of like who's past S tier, right? Like this, and then yeah, Brawler Claws. That might honestly, I can't think of anything else that I'd put on those on the same tier as those. Yeah, it'd probably just be those two. I'd probably put a couple other weapons in S tier with samurai, but yeah, double S. No, it's excuse me. Yeah, it's definitely going to those. So yeah, with that, I guess there's Ninja Palm. So yeah. I feel like rant or or ramble is over. So yeah, and again, I still feel like I'm understating it, but anyway, yeah, it's Ninja Palm. I don't know what Sora Limited and Sakurai were cooking up with this one, but yeah. I mean, you can see there was an attempt to balance it, right? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna get on them too much, but like, yeah. With these, there clearly wasn't even an effort. I mean, really, why are you almost the same level of melee power as Raptor Claws? Why? Like, y'all didn't even try with Brawler Claws, but Ninja, I'll give it to them. I mean, they try to take something off the power, range, and homing, which yeah, it's definitely just a cut below Violet in all those categories, but yeah, not by enough to where you can't make up for it with the game's attributes, which is nice. I can only imagine if it actually had like even just Violet Palm's level of homing and range, you know, or even power. Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. Let me see, comparing it. Yeah, 39, and what did I get for Violet? 49. Yeah, that's pretty bad, but not like super bad. It's not like it's Phosphor Bow bad, you know. So yeah, there's Ninja Palm. Anybody else that wants to input? I mean, it's Ninja Palm. Like I can talk about it all day. So but again, I feel like I'm still understating it. I might be missing something. So let me know what y'all think about Ninja Palm in the comments. I'm sure everybody's got a story or some type of experience with that shit. All right, real quick, cause I had to come back, like I guess basically record Ninja Palm shit and then start recording again, cause I did not expect to talk about just Ninja Palm for like half an hour, but yeah, I was thinking about that rant, or not rant, but that ramble I was going on about comparing it to Pokemon's meta. I guess it would be kind of similar, huh? Like, yeah, the more time has passed by, we've gone more from like abusing heavy offensive styles to like, yeah, just Bumblebee plus 4 evasion being as hard as you can possibly beat a hit, you know. So I guess it is pretty similar in that regard. So maybe I kind of like disproved my own point. So there's that. But anyway, I guess from Ninja Palm, let's see. Yeah, we could start with the benchmark, because I really like Violet Palm. It's like right in the middle for range power, right in the middle for or I don't know, actually it's like upper or top 5 for its range distance. But yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite palms for sure. I'm trying to think, because I remember going into this, I was thinking, like, straight up, I was thinking B tier. I ain't gonna hold you, but keeping in the buck with myself, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to compare it to, yeah, really Fortune and Tiger Claws. You know, yeah, sure. It's got the other quote unquote first blades. I mean, yeah, they got everything you would want out of their main classes, right? Like Tiger Claws has speed, it's got decent power overall, and it's not like particularly lacking in anything that all other claws aren't, like shot range. But and then yeah, you got Insight Staff. It has, you know, it's sitting at above 80 meters for range. Its base damage is over 100. Like, yeah, you're sitting pretty nice with that thing too when comparing it to other stats. But with Violet Palm, I don't know, it feels really good at like what you'd want out of a palm. I mean, yeah, the firing rate's there, the homing's there, the power's there, and I guess kind of like Fortune Bow, how Fortune Bow was like right in the middle of range power, so it outranked like half the class in range power, but didn't have like their other attributes and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of similar to Violet Palm, except like everything else just has like a little bit less range. It's right in the middle for range power, and again, yeah, we're not really looking at melee, so I don't know. I might, again, kind of similar to Fortune Bow, I might be being biased here when putting it in B tier. I just really like the firing rate. The power's not bad. Homing's not bad at all. Of course, it's even better than bows in general. I think palms in general are supposed to have better homing than bows, and then yeah, like every class in the game has some level of homing, right? Like, but I think the main ones that are supposed to excel at it are palms, just in general, right? Because eye track orbiters have the strongest homing in the game, but then yeah, then it's just eye track orbiters, and then it's just eye track, Gemini, Shock's kind of up there, it's our arm, but yeah, that's kind of about it. Whereas with palms, Violet Palm has really good shot homing. So does Burning, especially Cursed, Cutter, Reaper, Pudgy, I was going to say Violet, Veriti. Yeah, in general, I mean, a lot of them really do just have really good homing abilities, even more than the bows, I feel like, because I think Violet Palm outdoes Fortune Bow in homing, if I'm not mistaken, just from what I can tell from playing with both of them. And then yeah, anything else that's supposed to like kind of, I guess, excel at it, even like even barring the these two, right? Like looking at something like Arm Bow, yeah, it has slightly more homing than Fortune Bow, but it'd really be like, you know, kind of like Violet Palm level of homing overall, you know, whereas Violet Palm isn't quite Angel Bow or Phosphor Bow, you know, kind of right in the middle. So that's kind of that's really like the main reason I really want to put it, yeah, like right in the middle. And then yeah, it's stronger than these two. I think range power wise is like just barely below Fortune Bow, and then for some reason outdoes First Blade in range and melee. I'm not sure what they were going for with that one. Like yeah, you would think, because it's a whole ass sword-ish, you'd be getting more melee out of it than, you know, what's basically like, you know, the Gentle Fist, except you're not hitting no pressure points or nothing. You're just slapping a nigga with your bare palm. So I don't know why it has stronger melee than First Blade, but yeah, that's what I got out of the damage calcs. So yeah, between that, well, not between that, because again, we're not really giving the palms too much credit for melee, because I don't know. I mean, with melee, like I was saying earlier, it's I mean, yeah, I don't really want to say, oh, just because Samurai Blade and Raptor Claws exist, there's just no reason to use anything else for melee, like, ever. But yeah, it's not like the range game where there's just so many different properties and variations, you know. With melee, yeah, everybody has the same shit. It's just different. Yeah, but it's slightly different threat zones, yet, right? Like palms don't have the reach of a blade or even the claws, right? So yeah, you have to be a little bit closer to connect with their melee, which again is why I'm not really giving them too much credit. But yeah, honestly, yeah, I guess you could say that about melee. Yeah, if you're gonna, especially for me, since I don't really care for like mixed weapons aside from something specific like Pandora Claws. But yeah, like with range, there's just so much variability. You know, you can't just take the strongest one. You can't take the strongest something out of a class and then just use only that, right? Like Darkness Bow, I wouldn't use just Darkness Bow over Sagittarius, because Sagittarius has other qualities that I like about it. And I had a Master Knight DH comment about bows on my last video too. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on let's see. Yeah, he's talking about how I rank Silver and Palutena up here because because they're so strong compared to Fortune Bow, but Fortune Bow still has other qualities to kind of match with them. So yeah, I definitely see what you're saying on that one. I might I'm think as soon as you said that, I was thinking about moving Palutena specifically down to C. I just don't have it in me to put Silver in C though. That's just my opinion. But yeah, Palutena, I definitely do kind of feel you on that. I might go ahead and move you to C, cause yeah, it's strong, but yeah, I do agree. It's not like, yeah, it doesn't have Silver Bow's homing. It doesn't have Sagittarius's other properties too, right? Like, yeah, sure, it's stronger, just barely, but yeah. Anyway, back to Violet Palm. Yeah, I kind of have to move on from Violet Palm actually, yeah, because it's just like I said, it's just a benchmark. But I'm kind of on the fence on this though. I try to give these weapons benefit of the doubt, really. That's why I put something like Palutena in B tier, because I wanna have clear, concrete standards for why I'm putting these in the tiers that I am. But at the same time, some of these I do want to give benefit of the doubt, right? Like, they might just be, usually I want to give a weapon more credit than I'm coming into it with, unless it's something that I know is like really good, like these, or is really bad, like Burst Blade. And yeah, bro even brought up Meteor Bow too. They were both like, yeah, that's probably an F tier weapon. But honestly, yeah, I'm just thinking of it, just comparing it to Burst Blade. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, they both really bad, I guess, but still, yeah, I'd give it to, I say Meteor Bow's range is more impressive than Burst Blade's shot cancellation, so I'll give it that. Anyway, moving on from Violet Palm, what we got next? Burning, the strongest melee palm. Again, yeah, I can't really give this class too much credit for melee, so yeah, you're definitely a C tier pick in that regard, my friend. Definitely can't put you in D tier though, not with melee stronger than never mind stronger than Crusher Arm. Really, it's like rivaling Samurai Blade, really. But again, yeah, it's a palm, so that range kind of sucks. Not only on the melee, but so does its projectile range. Yeah, that also kind of sucks. Innate burning is nice. You can because you have Master Ideas are talking to me about like innate paralysis or innate status on weapons too, and how I might be giving them too much credit for that because effect recovery exists, which fair enough. They're the main reasons. Well, not the main reasons, but yeah, like +4 freezing and being turned into a food item like tempura is really why you want effect recovery. I was gonna talk about it a little later when I got to it, like Reaper Palm, for instance, right? I remember this fucking dude, man, fucking Chrome Noir gonna pull up on me with it was like a 1v1 free for all. This dude gonna pull up on me with a great Reaper Palm and tempura or whatever the fuck kind of transmutation ability had all the homing, and I was just getting turned into food with the weakening status. I couldn't do shit, man, because I didn't have effect recovery. So like, yeah, I definitely feel him on that. But I don't know. Still though, weapons with innate status are nice because yeah, you get the. I would say you get to burn up the effect recovery, but without the cost of an attribute or a power slot. But it's really not that big a deal, just because there's so many effect recoveries, you can spam them, kind of like Celestial Fireworks, and you get so many of them back upon respawn that yeah, you're not really putting too much of a dent in anything, even if you wanted to go all out with some sort of melee power thief type shit. So, but again, this is there, and my thing is you can combine status. So like, yeah, you can have weakening on a phosphor bow and have like innate, virus shots or something, or weakening on a weapon with innate burning, and then you can cut your target's health in half and then have them die faster from burning too. Like, yeah. So between that, I'll give them a little something something. Even though effect recovery does pretty much counter everything that all the credit that I just gave them, it's still something. So I'm not, again, yeah, anything with not only a Nate status, but yeah, just as strong as its melee is, and despite the projectile range, yeah, I feel like this is a pretty good spot. If it was if this was Wolf Claws, for instance, yeah, like I would have to compare it to Wolf Claws, because yeah, both have shorter range than their first blade quote unquote counterpart. But yeah, Wolf Claws is a pair of claws. It's actually like decent and kind of nice to use with melee, and even if you're comparing it power wise to Burning Palm, I mean, it's faster than it, so there's that. Yeah, other than that, Burning Palm, pretty underwhelming. I like it. It was one of the weapons that I was able to like get a good build on before I downloaded the weapon editor. But yeah, that would just be my own bias speaking at that point. So moving on to what we got. Needle Palm. Oh yeah, what did I write in the miscellaneous? Yeah, Needle's description sucks. Yeah, this is definitely one of the worst descriptions I've seen. I mean, it's nothing egregious. It's just saying yeah, little homie. Yeah, there isn't much of a difference in range between charge shots and continuous fire, which, I mean, sure, between its standing charge shot, I think is about like 35, and standing continuous fire is like 30. Sure, I'll give you that, but like still, I think it's max range is what? Let me see. His max range is, yeah, 44 meters. So I don't know, 44 to 30. That's about the same amount of distance from, you know, Violet Palms is a 49 meter forward dash charge shot, and it's, you know, 30 something meter continuous fire. It's about the same. So I don't know why they felt the need to specify this to emphasize that. Like, it just, does this shit really have nothing else going on? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. It's fairly, like, power wise especially, yeah, it's fairly underwhelming. I was thinking for the longest time, I thought this weapon was kind of like the chic of the palms, where maybe it's just trading power for, I don't know, firing rate or something, like, especially because it's a needle. I was thinking maybe it's kind of like Hedgehog Claws, especially because of the sound effects on its projectiles. But yeah, I was just fooling myself, honestly. There really is nothing special about this. It has less range, power, and homing than Violet, and they go as far as to emphasize this of all things for a quote unquote attribute or something to make it stand out, which isn't even the case. They just made some shit up. So yeah, definitely gonna have to put you in D tier, my friend. So moving on to, oh yes, my favorite. Look, now this Midnight Palm, yeah, now this is some heat right here. This is some heat. The projectiles are slow. The projectiles are so slow though. That is the only thing. And I feel like I wanted to make a, look, y'all would have to forgive me, I wanted to make a, I guess like a Bleach reference, because it's sitting at the top of the palms for range power, something, and oh well, and it being like a moon reference or a lunar reference. I'm like, huh, wow, yeah, you're truly the piercer of heavens. Let me know if any of y'all get that. Look, Bleach content coming soon to this channel, question mark. Hey, maybe soon. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, Midnight Palm, yeah, it's definitely my favorite palm just for the aesthetic. But I mean, yeah, it's also nice because power, shot cancellation, it's the best in overall shot cancellation. That's let me look at my miscellaneous here. Yeah, best overall shot cancellation. Yeah, it's only really outranked by Pudgy's backward dash, and I'm trying to think of anything else it has going for it. Yeah, besides just being at the it's at the top for range power, and like right behind Virgo Palm for range distance, which again, I haven't gotten to yet, but that's like the main reason I don't like Virgo. That's the main reason I don't like Virgo Palms, because this shit exists. It's like it's like Crusader. Virgo Palm and Midnight Palm are like Crusader Blade and Burst Blade all over again. The one is just doing what the other wants to do, but like way better and then some. it's just so unfair. Especially I took that personally too. Look, I'm personally a Virgo, but I don't know what the fuck Discord be on talking about. Oh, this is a night. Nah, this shit is trash, bro. This shit is trash. But anyway, we'll get to it when we get to it. Midnight Palm, this shit's some heat. I really want to put it A tier, but then I thought about how slow and like big its charge shots are. Even the continuous fire is like really fucking slow. So I can't give you too much credit, my friend. But even though it doesn't really feel right to put you in the same tier as Violet Palm, admittedly though. But I don't know, Violet Palm, but still, like, that's enough. The shot speed is enough of a concern for me to keep it from A tier, whereas it's the exact opposite with something like Violet Palm. It's not Ninja Palm, but comparing it to Midnight, it may as well be on the shot speed. So yeah, I wanna give it more credit, but nah, I'd say that's a solid spot for it. So Curse Palm's next. Oh yeah, this is look, Curse Palm is like my Little Caesars, man. Curse Palm is like my McDonald's. Look, this shit has held it down for so long for me, bruh. Look, when I tell you I don't like, nothing against anybody that likes +4 evasion and Bumblebee. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a game at the end of the day, right? Like, niggas gonna play how they want to play and play to win. So like that's whatever to me. But nonetheless, I don't have fun playing against it. So it's nice to have something like Curse Palm, which just has so much homing. I mean, yeah, there's something like Angel Bow too, but I don't know. I like, if I'm really trying to like hit somebody that's that evasive, I feel like I need to kind of semi pull up on them, you know. Like a mid-range weapon like a Palm is nice, especially when it has homing like the Curse Palm, because it's just so, I mean, what can I say, really? It's just so cracked out, right? Like, there's Violet Palm, which is, again, I kind of rank between top tier bow homing and like average bow homing, and then you got this, which is honestly, yeah, I say Curse is even stronger at it than Angel Bow, minus the backward dash charge shot for how that shit kind of frame traps you and loops around. But Curse Palm can do the same thing because of how slow its shots are, even more so than Angel Bow. So yeah, it's even better at frame trapping than other palms like Violet, where they got the homing and the firing rate on like the continuous fire. But with something like Curse, you don't even need the continuous fire as much. I mean, it's nice because of the slow charge time, but yeah, you don't even need the continuous fire as much because of how slow the charge shot is. Your target can dodge it and just, yeah, be caught in between the next dodge in between iframes and shit. So it's really nice. Like I said, it's been holding me down. Like I like to use this in tandem with Virus. That way I can have Virus up in my mid-range space and try to immobilize whoever's around me as much as possible, and with projectiles that I know aren't gonna miss unless my target just warps out of there or Bumblebee kicks in. So, and that at least wears Bumblebee down, which is a lot harder to get back after a respawn, unlike something like Celestial Fireworks or Effect Recovery. So, and the melee ain't bad either, so, which is really nice. I think it's what, like second amongst, well, first range, let me see, so Curse a little bit below average on range distance, but that's whatever. Let's see, top 5 for range damage, and yeah, second for melee. So which is, yeah, it's a fair bit weaker than burning, sure, but it's still pretty nice for a weapon that again likes to stay in that sort of mid-range distance. So yeah, I like it a lot, but the shots are really slow, and so it makes it hard to play even from mid-range, because the shots are so slow. It feels like you're playing from long range with how long that shit takes to reach a target. So but it is really nice. The homing is so strong. I definitely can't knock it down any more than what it is, especially for how strong it is too. So yeah, I say B tier is solid. Alright, y'all, my apologies real quick. I keep having to break this recording session up because life. But anyway, resuming from where we left off. Let's see here. Cutter Palm should be, yeah, Cutter Palm's next after Cursed. Let's see here. Cutter Palm. That's off rip a solid. I say that's a solid mid-tier weapon-ish. Yeah, probably, maybe, yeah, like a little bit below B. The power's there. The damage output is all there. I just don't like the properties on this projectiles. The charge shots are fine. They just take forever to get. And then, I mean, yeah, it's a palm. So, like, ideally, if you're going to have something like large or, excuse me, long charge time, you'd have at least decent continuous fire, which I don't think, yeah, I think Cutter has like the worst continuous fire out of all the palms. Not damage wise, like again, the damage is there. It's the properties. It's kind of sporadic on the continuous fire, like similar to like claws, for instance. They kind of, the shots, I mean, there is homing on all of its projectiles, but I don't know, the shots on its continuous fire just ain't really all that. They're not as rapid as some of the other ones like Violet, or I was gonna say they don't rack up as quickly, but really I'd say per hit, yeah, they rack up about the same amount of damage, if not more. But yeah, I just don't really care for its like spread out, sort of slow continuous fire projectile rate. But the charge shots are really nice. So is the backward dash. The backward dash, I'd say, has the strongest homing on any projectile for the palms, and then overall it would have to go to Reaper. At least I think so. Let me see. Yeah, Reaper. Yeah, I put Reaper / Cursed are probably tied for best with, or yeah, with Cutter backward dash specifically being on top. Yeah, that one, it's not a, I don't think it's a multi-hit like some of Reaper and Cursed Palms charge shots can do, like go through a target, turn back around and hit him again for more damage. Yeah, I don't think the backward dash works like that, but it is like really hard to avoid. I've seen people with +4 evasion just be unable to do anything about it without Bumblebee saving them. So that's something. It is a real nice anti-evasion weapon. I'll give it that. It's just, at least, well, I say weapon, really it's the backward dash charge shot is a really nice anti-evasion attack, but overall the weapon as a whole, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if more of its projectiles were as hard to avoid or dodge like its backward dash, and I could see moving it up, because that's kind of like its whole niche to me. Other than that, it doesn't really stand out damage wise. It's outranked by Viridi, by Midnight. I know Viridi's a little inconsistent though, so I mean, I'll give it that. But yeah, other than the backward dash being a good anti-evasion tactic, which for me is really nice, because I really don't care to play against evasion and Bumblebee for 5 minutes waiting for the clock to run out, because nobody dies. So I mean, yeah, I am biased towards it in that regard. Like, part of me does want to put it in B, but yeah, it's just the firing rate, really. Like, I'm thinking of it as a palm, really. Yeah, like, again, same reason I would put Violet Palm in B, just for it having all the qualities you want out of a palm, but just to such a degree that it's just I don't know. Like, yeah, it's to a point where, like, yeah, I don't really feel like any other palm is really outdoing Violet. Everything else just kind of has a niche, right? Like Midnight with its shot cancellation, Curse with the homing, but that's kind of going on a similar tangent to what I was saying about Fortune Bow and everything I ranked underneath it. So yeah, I won't spend too long going on a tangent for Cutter Palm in this instance, but yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else it has going for it. Let me see what we got here on the Vinipedia. Long charge time, its continuous fire, lacks good homing. Despite these flaws, you can't go wrong. I mean, yeah, pretty accurate. Despite these flaws, because they are glaring. Yeah, despite that though, I mean, yeah, the backward dash is pretty nice. That's my only thing though. Yeah, the backward dash isn't its strongest shot though. That's my problem, really. If the backward dash was his strongest shot, like Virgo Palm, then okay, then yeah, I could see like actually spamming it despite how slow it is. At least when you're in that close to mid-range distance, I mean, yeah, you'll still be a threat. It's slow, so like yeah, you'll probably still get outwalked by one of these, so that's unfortunate. But that's just, you know, that's more matchup specific. Whereas, yeah, at least if the backward dash was doing more damage in general, I think this weapon would just be a lot better. Or if the forward dash had the backward dash's level of homing, then yeah. But yeah, it's just yeah, it's got some sauce, but it's just got too much holding it back as well. So that's all I can say for Cutter at the moment. Let's see, moving on to Pudgy. See, this palm shoots fancy balloon-like shots. It does a charge or a short charge time. Yeah, that is that was one of the surprising facts I learned on the little shot cancellation spreadsheet. I didn't know this thing came second for overall charge time. So I guess that's something Pudgy's got going for it. The shots are really slow from what I remember. Let's see, it has a short charge time and an overall strong homing ability. It's backward dash. Yeah, that's the main thing it has going for it. It's backward dash having one of the, or actually, yeah, it has the highest shot cancellation in the game, tied with Guardian's overall range game. So it's got that going for it. But from what I remember, power wise, it's nothing too impressive, right? Like, where'd I rank it? Pudgy. Okay, so it's at least a cut above Violet. I'll give it that. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I guess, yeah, that's the only thing I really don't like about it is the speed on its projectiles. They are pretty slow, but because of the bubble, and I think I'm not sure. I think I know the backward dash does, but I don't know about the other charge shots if they expand similar to how Virgo Palm does. But yeah, they do seem, I guess the homing really is just that good, because sometimes even minus the backward dash, the projectiles on this do seem pretty hard to avoid, kind of similar to backward dash on Cutter sometimes. But you know, we're talking about palms here, so I mean, I can't really be too surprised that that would be hard to avoid. I'm trying to think of anything else going for this palm. I personally just don't really care for it a whole lot, so I mean, yeah, like I've used it quite a bit. I just wasn't really impressed. So I don't know. Like it's got some sauce for sure. Yeah, like it's stronger and has better homing than Violet, and it has that backward dash. Let me see what else it might have going for it. Range. Yeah, it's even got more range than oh no, this is damage. Let me see. Okay, slightly less, but that's like negligible. So I guess I could put it in the C tier, give it benefit of the doubt. I'm just thinking of how if I was ranking how I felt about it, then yeah, it's just C tier. But if I was giving it benefit of the doubt, then oh shit, hold on, did not mean to click OBS. Yeah, if I was giving it benefit of the doubt, yeah, I can give it B tier. It's got its good qualities, and it's not too weak like Ninja Palm or yeah, didn't have a whole lot holding it back like these two. So yeah, I say B is a pretty solid spot for it at the moment. Let me see here. Ninja, yeah, we already yeah, we done already went over Ninja. So let's see, and we finally arrived at my my personal astrological zodiac. I don't know why the fuck I just forgot what it was called. Yeah, zodiac sign. Yeah, as much as I wanna hype myself up, you know, like, yeah, ideally best weapon in the game for sure, no contest. But realistically, this shit kind of trash. I'm not even gonna hold you, bro. Like, the damage output, not all that. And then I've got not debates. I was gonna say I've gotten into debates with people on Discord. Not necessarily debates. It's just I've posted a tier list in there before, like many others, and I gotten feedback, and that's one of the funnest parts about Uprising Discord is that, yeah, you can post stuff like this, and people will genuinely want to like Discord switch you over it instead of being like, oh, you think this is bottom tier, you're just objectively wrong or some shit. Like, nobody's that pressed about this shit, you know. Everybody's just trying to have a good time. But with Virgo Palm, it's kind of funny. I do remember a lot of people trying to defend Virgo Palm, like, it's not that bad, longest range of any palm, I can kill you with energy charge. I'm like, I don't know, fam. Like, isn't its whole niche supposed to be the backward dash? It really, to me, its niche is the shots growing in size over a distance, which I would think makes it more, yeah, it makes it harder to avoid its projectiles. But I don't really know if that's true or not. I haven't really experienced that using it myself, and I haven't been on the receiving end enough to be able to tell. So forgive me on that one. But I do know, yeah, the lacking in power and homing is definitely true. Yeah, kind of like Ninja Palm, comparing it to Violet. Yeah, it's definitely lacking in that aspect. It's at least stronger than Ninja Palm overall, so I'll give it that. But yeah, that ain't really saying much. But even its other niche, actually, yeah, real quick, what is it? Okay, so it's like average on charge time. Okay, so it's not like near the bottom, at least in overall range power, but it's still not that strong, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can feel it too, like, especially for a palm that low-key wants to play from a long distance. Like, yeah, I mean, sure, your shots grow in size, but all that power you're losing in the meantime is, I don't know if it's worth it, really. Trying to think of anything else it might have going for it, and I mean, yeah, sure, longest range of any palm, but look at Midnight. It's like right there. It's right there. Midnight is 2 meters shorter than you, has higher overall shot cancellation, which is one of your main niches. That, yeah, the backward dash creates a, man, this is just a blatant lie. This is just a blatant lie. As backward dash charge shot creates a useful defensive wall. Like, sure, the size of it and the hitbox is useful and it is strong, but yeah, shot cancellation wise, it's just, I think it has a value of like 4. Like, standing charge shot and forward dash and side dash all have like 5 on Midnight and then 6 on its backward dash. It's just shitting on Virgo Palm, man. Like, there's almost, it's like Burst Blade and Crusader all over again. Not as bad because it's a palm, and I think palms just innately can't be bad, just for, unless you're needle's kind of whatever. Yeah, it's like I say, palms I don't think can innately be bad at all. There's always going to be some use for them, just for the homing and the novelty on all their projectiles. Because I mean, with Violet, there's nothing really to explain. Same thing with burning too, except, yeah, it has innate burning. Even the firing rate on needle is still pretty nice. Shot cancellation on this is really nice. Homing, damage, shot cancellation and homing, firing rate, distance and hitbox size, charge time, multi-hit that's like either really strong or really weak depending on where you're at. and innate weakening, and in fact the only innate weakening in the game, on top of probably like the strongest overall homing in this class. So yeah, I feel like there's always a niche or something for palms to do, unlike say like blades, which are innately trying to be mixed, but you don't always have enough room on your weapon value for mixed stars and attributes, so they usually just have to pick one and don't really excel in whatever other category, like Crusader Blade for instance, right? Like it's really supposed to excel in shot cancellation, and then melee is kind of like a nice little niche that it has, or not a niche, but it having stronger melee than say First Blade is another little nice quality that it has. But yeah, it'd be hard to run mixed if you also want to abuse the shot cancellation on its projectiles, which is also where you're going to be getting the most damage. But yeah, if you do that, if you go with that, then yeah, you also kind of miss out on the melee aspect. But you know, it's outclassed in that aspect anyway, so you're not really missing out. Whereas with palms, it's just like I said, yeah, with melee, it's hard to really blatantly disregard another weapon entirely, just because again, samurai and raptor exists. But even with it being outranked by those two, at least it has innate burning, like a volcano arm or something, or like volcano arm or wolf calls. So that's something that's got going for it, right? But and even comparing it to those two weapons, I wouldn't say it's entirely outclassed. Like yeah, it's still stronger than wolf claws at least, but I've already talked about that one earlier. Yeah, with palms and comparing them to everything else, I feel like the firing rate, overall homing, and I would say charge time, but I guess that falls in line with firing rate. And I'm trying to think of anything else, but yeah, I feel like just even those two in particular will always help them stand out amongst other classes. Claws also have pretty good firing rate and charge time as well, but palms still outrank claws in overall damage output, so I'll have to give it to them on that. But yeah, overall, I don't think palms can be bad in general, just innately, even with how much I'm shitting on Virgo Palm for not living up to my zodiac hype, you know, as much as that kind of sucks. Like yeah, I wish this weapon was good, or maybe if they made at least one of the palms like a weapon that grows in power over a distance, that'd be nice. Because even Viridi Palm is stronger up close, but you want to be at a distance to make sure all the consecutive hits land. Yeah, that's unfortunate they don't have a weapon like that, because even with claws, you at least have artillery claws, which is stagnant over a distance. So is beam claws, so is hedgehog claws. In fact, some of these I think had a stronger continuous fire when from a distance for some reason. I know all of their charge shots either remain the same or weaken, but then some of them will have like stronger continuous fire over a distance for some reason. But anyway, yeah, that's Virgo Palm. Moving on to, let's see, Viridi. Yeah, Viridi could consistently, like, always land each and every consecutive hit for its max damage output. I'd say A tier if it could consistently do that. But between that and the shortest range of any palm, because its continuous fire is really good, but yeah, you know, shortest range on any palm, so I can't give it too much credit. And then, I mean, yeah, it just kind of evens out with how good its damage I put on the charge shot is, but it is just that good, so I can't really put it in the same tier as Cutter and Virgo and Burning. So I feel like Midnight tier is pretty solid. Yeah, I really can't really say too much about Viridi. The damage is there, like any other palm, the homing is also there, and so is the firing rate. But yeah, it's just the range distance, really. It's really short. I mean, 30 meters. I mean, what more can I say? That's really bad. That's like, yeah, I think that's not quite. I was trying to say that's like ancient staff like range, but no, it's a little bit more. So I'm not gonna shit on it too much, but yeah, it's strong for a palm, and I keep forgetting to compare these to other classes when talking about their range damage output. With properties is kind of easy to remember, but yeah, damage output. I mean, like I said earlier in the video, palms in general, yeah, palms are kind of like in the middle of the weapon classes with bows and cannons. So yeah, they'll at least always be stronger than blades, for instance, right? Or not all blades, but in general, right? Because I think even Gal Blade is still, like, I think even Gal Blade's projectiles are in general still weaker than like Violet, and then even Ninja, which is the weakest. I forgot to mention that earlier when talking about Ninja 2. Actually, yeah, it is the weakest, because Reaper Palm, if it only hits once, is the weakest, but the homing on it is pretty insane, so it can pierce, turn back around, and hit like 1 or 2 more times for damage output comparable to Virgo and Needle. So yeah, weakest would definitely be Ninja, but even that's still stronger than First Blade, at least, right? So I'll give it that. So yeah, Viridi Palm having the strongest charge shot on occasion out of all the palms is nice. And then I was gonna compare it to how it stacks to other weapons, like when I saw that I had it, where did I have that type? Yeah, I noted under Midnight and Viridi's damage calculation of 60 on the forward dash, that yeah, it's around Silver Bow level. Emphasis on around, I think I got what, like 65 on Silver Bow from what I can remember. So yeah, it's up there. I can at least put it in the same ballpark of power as this, but even though I like the multi-hit more than Silver Bow's charge shot, at least, yeah, you don't have to worry about not all the hits landing. Yeah, multi-hits on projectiles are kind of like a catch-22. Not with the continuous fire. I'm not talking about the continuous fire, but like on a charge shot, for instance, it makes it to where, yeah, you want all the hits to connect, so you get all the damage, and then yet, which also makes it, of course, easier to miss out on damage if you're just not at the right range, or your target has knockback defense or enough defense modifiers to like ignore some of the hit stun, or hell, you can even do that with just armor sometimes, right? So there is that. But multi-hits are also nice in that I think they have a higher chance of activating status conditions too. Don't quote me on that one though. I'm not entirely sure. I would just imagine it's a lot easier to poison somebody with a Viridi shot than it would, say, you know, a Violet shot. So that's one thing it has going for it, I guess. There's something else I was gonna talk about with multi-hit charge shots in general too. That's right, yeah, I guess they are in general harder to avoid too. Like, yeah, you can be caught in between iframes as well, instead of having to worry only about one hitbox and then you're good. So there's that. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's not like it's super strong when comparing it to all the other weapons. So yeah, with the heavy, or not the heavy artillery classes like stabs and clubs, but with the mid-tier classes, the palms, cannons, and bows, I'm gonna have to do some damage calcs on cannons so I can see who's on top of all 3 of those categories. Because right now it's Darkness Bow, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, right now it's Darkness Bow, and then everything right under that would be like Silver, Viridi, and Midnight. So yeah, that's all I can do for Viridi at the moment. Sorry, boo. You still my baby though. No, don't worry. All right, now let's see. Yeah. If I had to, I ain't even gonna hold you. Look, if I had to get any of these palms as a tattoo, yeah, it would probably be cursed. Actually, I ain't gonna hold you. The text, I don't know what's going on with it, but it looks cool. I notice it in the game often, like during the Dark Lord Gal boss fight. I noticed the text, the similar text on the Curse Palm and well, Ninja Palm I think is just kanji, right? I'm not too sure, but this Curse, like, yeah, Ninja Palm looks like just kanji. Curse, I'm not sure what that is. I mean, it could also just be kanji. This kind of looks like, this right here looks like the letter Su, maybe. I'm not sure, but yeah, I noticed these same patterns on Dark Lord Gal's boss fight arena, so I thought that was pretty cool. I was gonna say if I had to get a tat of any of these, yeah, it's definitely Veriti, but I'm not gonna lie, Curse is pretty cool. I might have to go with that one. But anyway, yeah, moving on to, oh, did I'm tripping. I just realized I skipped Arum. Hold on, I'm tripping. All right, so let's see, Arum. Y'all gonna have to give me a minute to think about this one. Off rip, look, y'all saw me moving. I was moving towards A, and then I had to think, like, because the charge time is just that good. But yeah, pretty average range, damage output, no homing. Gosh, I wanna do more than just state off all the little facts and statistics I've listed off for it. But yeah, that's all about I can really say for it, because of my experience with Arum. I mean, I like it, but that's all I can say for it, really. It's nothing too crazy. It's nothing mind-blowing. Even the charge time being the fastest amongst the palms is nice, but you know, still got fairy orbiters and Arum orbiters, which, yeah, when comparing the Arum weapons, yeah, I'll definitely give it to orbiters over palm. So yeah, I'd say that's a solid spot for it for now. And then last but not least, Great Reaper Palm. Let's see. Yeah, Reaper Palm, another weapon I want to put in A. If and you know, as always, if any of you have insight you want to provide that might you know, I mean, it's a tier list video, so I mean, you know, these type of videos always incite some sort of discourse, I imagine, right? So, and you know, I don't mind. Yeah, any of y'all think Great Reaper Palms A tier and want to convince me otherwise, hey, I'm all for it. I like to give weapons benefit of the doubt, but I don't know, the further I'm getting into this tier list, there's just, yeah, I already have more already ranked to compare whatever it is I'm trying to rank to. So yeah, with the Reaper Palm, like, yeah, if I was just looking at palms instead of all weapon categories, it'd be A tier. But yeah, I'm trying to compare it to other weapons that like to also play with slip shot and homing boosts as well. This is definitely one of the worst ones at it, I feel like, because I mean, yeah, it's a palm, its damage weakens over a distance, but then yeah, between that, the charge time and the continuous fire is nice, but like, yeah, it's still slow, so it's not as abusable as something like a Violet Palm. But yeah, the charge shot is really nice though. Like, yeah, like I said earlier, it hits or it can hit multiple times, but unlike Veriti Palm, that's not necessarily what you're looking for. It's nice, but as long as you can activate weakening or just abuse the homing, I mean, it is just that good. Like I was saying earlier, I got pieced the fuck up last time I was playing free for all with Chrome Noir, man. Nigga brought out fucking Tempura, Great Reaper Palm, and yeah, that's when I learned I needed energy charge on every set. Yeah, quick editor note, meant to say this is why I always use effect recovery from now on and not energy charge. So yeah, but you know, I mean, when I saw Reaper Palm, yeah, I was thinking I was gonna like just get fucked up by weakening. So I mean, innate weakening is nice, so I mean, yeah, I'll give it that. But unlike innate status on other weapons like Burning Claw, or fuck me, Burning Claw, yeah, Burning Claws and Wolf Palm, yeah, way to go. Yeah, Wolf Claws and Phosphor Bow, for instance, right? I would want to slap weakening plus something, or a weakening power on one of these in tandem with their innate status, because I just like weakening plus burning, or weakening plus paralysis. But I don't know if I would put burning or paralysis on a Reaper Palm, you know? I don't know. I mean, like, sure, but but maybe that's also because I'm fucking traumatized from being changed into a tempura by one of these shots. Oh god, like, yeah, getting tempura by, like, I don't know, a violet palm or a bow is one thing, but this is just fucked up. That man is evil for that shit. Again, yeah, this is one of those weapons that I thought was gonna be A tier, but then I get to it and I'm just like, especially for palms, right? Because it's not like bows where I ranked these two and then I was just kind of passing out L's for the rest of the video. Yeah, going into palms, I was thinking I would have, like, yeah, I would have Ninja Palm and SS, maybe a couple of A's, and then everything else would just kind of fall into the middle. So yeah, this is I don't know, this is a bit of a surprising result. So yeah, here we have palms. Forgive my, I guess my energy if that's shifted at all in this latter half of the video. It is kind of a bit jarring having to do multiple recording sessions. So, but yeah, just wanted to wrap it up instead of, you know, just ranking 6 weapons and then just calling that a part 1 or whatever, and then getting to the rest whenever. So yeah, as always, appreciate y'all tuning in. Again, wish I had more to say about Reaper Palm, but yeah, it's just a solid overall weapon. I would consider the innate weakening and the homing enough of an X factor to get it into A tier, but the shots are also really slow, and it's not like it's particularly strong. Takes forever to charge. So, and again, yeah, comparing it to the other weapons that like to abuse slip shot, it's definitely worse than a lot of those. I think, like the clubs and the bows, and even other palms, I feel like, too. Like, yeah, I've seen people abuse, like, Pudgy Palm, for instance, with slip shot, and that goes pretty crazy. But yeah, that's palms, I guess. So yeah, as always, appreciate y'all tuning in. And yeah, we'll be back next time for clubs. So yeah, as always, thanks again, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.